He's been called the kindest judge in America, a true inspiration and a breath of fresh air in the legal profession. As Judge Caprio always said, be good to each other. They say justice is blind, but Rhode Island Superior Court Justice Frank Caprio's story proves that it can also be warm, witty, and compassionate. In today's society, we tend to think of judges as these stoic, emotionless beings who just sit on their thrones handing out punishments left and right. But Judge Caprio's story shows us that there's more to the judicial system than meets the eye. So grab your popcorn, because we are about to take you through the inspiring life and legacy of Judge Frank Caprio, the kindest judge in the United States of America. And don't forget to stay until the end to find out why this no-nonsense judge became an overnight sensation for all of the right reasons. But first, let's go back to where it all began. Born and raised in Providence, Rhode Island, Judge Caprio's journey to the bench was a long and winding one. After graduating from the University of Rhode Island with a degree in political science in 1968, he went on to earn his law degree from Suffolk University Law School in Boston 4 years later. But before he could start practicing law, he had to serve 2 years in the U.S. Army, including a tour in Vietnam. Upon returning home, he joined a private practice in Providence where he specialized in criminal defense. However, his passion for justice led him to become an assistant attorney general in 1983 and then chief of the criminal division in 1990. During his time as a prosecutor, he gained a reputation for being tough on crime while also being fair and compassionate towards those who appeared before him. So when he was appointed to the Superior Court in 1994, it was no surprise that he continued to uphold these same values on the bench. But it was during his tenure as a judge that Caprio started to become known across the nation for his unique approach to dispensing justice. Throughout his career, Judge Caprio has been known for his no-nonsense attitude when it comes to crime. But what truly sets him apart is his ability to connect with those who appear before him, even if they're accused of serious crimes. He believes that everyone deserves a second chance and often gives those who come before him the opportunity to make amends for their mistakes. One of the most heartwarming examples of this took place in 2013 when a homeless man pleaded guilty to stealing a backpack. Caprio sentenced him to 10 days in jail, but after hearing the man's story, he decided to suspend the sentence and instead ordered him to write an essay about his experience with homelessness. In another case, a young woman named Brittany pleaded guilty to stealing her neighbor's mail. Instead of sending her to jail, Judge Caprio gave her the opportunity to volunteer at a local soup kitchen and write a letter of apology to her victim. These are just a few examples of the many ways in which Judge Caprio's courtroom has become a place of healing and redemption rather than just a place of punishment and retribution. As you can probably guess, these stories quickly started to make the rounds on the internet, and people were astounded by the judge's unorthodox methods. But it wasn't just his leniency that people were talking about. It was also his dry sense of humor and the way he connects with people from all walks of life. Over the years, Judge Caprio has shared some memorable moments with those who have appeared in his court. One such moment took place when a woman was pulled over for driving with a broken tail light. When she appeared in court, Judge Caprio fined her $100 but then asked her why she didn't fix the light. She replied that she couldn't afford to pay someone to do it. The judge then surprised her by paying the fine and releasing her without any further punishment. Another time, a young man was charged with disorderly conduct for fighting with his girlfriend's father. As he was about to sentence the man, Judge Caprio stopped and said, "You know, my daughter's boyfriend once got into a fight with me and I put him in jail for a weekend. He came out and apologized and promised it would never happen again." Well, 2 weeks later, they were back in court. She had broken up with him and he was in trouble again. You see, you can't win them all. Everyone in the courtroom burst out laughing. It was clear that this no-nonsense judge had a heart of gold. He's been called the kindest judge in America, a true inspiration and a breath of fresh air in the legal profession. So what is it about Judge Caprio that makes him so popular? What's the secret behind his success? Well, according to an interview he did with Oprah Winfrey, it all comes down to one thing: compassion. For Judge Caprio, Being a judge isn't just about wearing a black robe and sitting on a high bench. It's about being a public servant and making a positive impact on the community. He believes that everyone deserves a second chance and that sometimes all someone needs is a little bit of understanding and support to turn their life around. When asked about his approach to sentencing, Judge Caprio told Oprah, "I don't believe in locking people up. If you take somebody who's never had a job and put them in jail, what are they going to do when they get out? Go get a job. So I try to give people opportunities. I tell them to get a job, get an education, get married, buy a house, have kids, and be productive members of society." This approach has clearly worked for many of the people who have appeared in Judge Caprio's courtroom. He has a success rate of over 90% in keeping people out of prison and helping them become productive members of society. Another reason for his popularity is his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. Judge Caprio doesn't let his position on the bench get in the way of his ability to relate to those who appear before him. He listens to their stories, shows empathy and understanding, and treats everyone with respect. This approach has made him famous nationwide. So why did this no-nonsense judge become a national sensation? Because he's not like other judges. He's compassionate, understanding, and fair. He believes in giving people second chances and treating everyone with respect. He's a true inspiration and a role model for judges across the country. While Judge Caprio's retirement was announced in 2017, his legacy continues to live on. He may be gone, but his memory will continue to inspire and motivate people for generations to come. His story is a reminder that even in the toughest of professions, it's important to remain compassionate, understanding, and fair. Thank you, Judge Caprio, for showing us what it means to be a true public servant. Your kindness and wisdom will never be forgotten. So how will you remember Judge Caprio? Will you keep his memory alive by being kinder, more understanding, and compassionate towards others? We hope so, because as Judge Caprio always said, be good to each other. Judge Caprio was one of a kind, and will always be remembered for who he was and the impact he made on those who came across his bench. Please stay tuned for a final message from Judge Frank Caprio before he died. Thank you for—
I would ask each of you in your own way to please pray for me. One of the happiest days of the year for me is my birthday. And recently, I celebrated my 87th birthday, and I just received so many wonderful messages from people all over the world. This birthday is a little different than any other I have ever had. Quite recently, I was not feeling well and received a medical examination, and the report was not a good one. And so I have been diagnosed with cancer of the pancreas, which is an insidious form of cancer. I'm being treated by a wonderful team of doctors, both here in Rhode Island and at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, part of the Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston, Massachusetts. I pray that God guides their thoughts and their hands in their treatment of me. I know this is a long road, and I'm fully prepared to fight as hard as I can. One thing that people ask me is, what can I do for you? Well, first of all, I can't thank all of you enough for your friendship and your kind messages. But I would ask each of you in your own way to please pray for me. I am in need of the power of prayer, which I believe, in addition to the medical treatment that I am receiving, is the most powerful weapon to help me survive this. Just knowing you are keeping me in your thoughts means the world to me. So thank you for all of your past messages. Thank you for your loving support. And please remember, just a small prayer. I really appreciate it.
Last year I asked you to pray for me, and it's very obvious that you did, because I came through a very difficult period. Unfortunately, I've had a setback. I'm back in the hospital now, and I'm coming to you again, asking you to remember me in your prayers once more. And so I ask you again, if it's not too much, that you can remember me in your prayers. I'm a great believer in the power of prayers. I think the Almighty above is looking over us. So remember me, please.
Thank you for watching. Take care and remember to be good to each other. And I hope to see you in the next video.